Yeah, hey Odell, you said a week ago, sometimes it's like your 3-point shooter helps to get that rhythm going early. How did it feel to get going early with Baker versus Cincinnati? And is that something you feel like you guys can really build on, you and Baker going forward?
I said that. Uh, yeah, no. Um, like I said, just keep continuing to grow, take it a day at a time. Uh, Always just trying to make forward progress. Same with everything else in life. So um, right now, we're just focused on Washington and trying to get the dub.
Marla, right now we'll go to you.
Yeah, Odell, I saw your tweet about the Breonna Taylor news. Does the what happened, does that strengthen your resolve to, do more in the fight, or, anything personally?
Um, I don't know if strengthen is the right word. I'm always going to continue to, for me, even at a young age, I always knew the difference between right and wrong and good and bad. And just, you know, I think the reason I'm so closely related to kids is because they're naive and blind to what's really going on in this world. And for me, at such a young age, I just was always curious why things were like this or why things were like that. And I think it's just getting tougher. It's disheartening. It's all of those things when you just want justice and it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. And I think Chris Webber was on TNT. I was watching one of the games where they didn't play the playoff game, and he said something that just stuck with me. And it was like the trauma actually comes from the feeling of defeated, or for me being like, yeah, it's expected to happen, or that was expected. I think that's the hardest thing to deal with, is not to be accepting to that, but to have to accept that these type of things will happen. So it's an everyday process. It's truly sad. It really is. I don't have the right words for it. I just pray that this world gets better. It's just plain and simple. It could just be such a beautiful place, and it isn't.
I don't know if you guys will meet before the game, but is there anything maybe you could do Sunday to remember her?
I don't know. I feel like there is definitely a call there. Something that we haven't got to talk about as a team yet, but discuss with the team and figure out a plan of action going forward.
Thank you.
Next question will be from Dan Lobby.
Yeah, Odell, just to follow up on what Marla was asking about, I guess is there frustration that you guys keep kind of trying to come up with solutions and things keep happening? I guess how do you deal with that frustration and kind of figure out what's next?
I think you try and channel that frustration into, and not, the word is not positive, but finding a way for more positive things to happen, to see change, to really seek that, and just stay on course. The NBA is doing a great job, the NFL is doing a great job, but it's not for the publicity. Like, you really want to see change. It's not for the likes and attention and all of those things, or to feel as if you're doing your part. Like, it's something genuine in your heart to want to seek change. I think that's the biggest thing. It is really just finding ways to continue to keep chipping away at it. It's not something that's going to change overnight. It's not going to change in 2 days. It's not going to change in a year. It's something that you have to keep chipping away at. And I think that everybody plays a role in that.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Nate Ulrich will have our next question.
Hey, Odell. I watched your interview with Maverick Carter, and something that jumped out is you saying that you have never voted, but your message now is please go vote, basically. Yeah. And I saw that Adrian Claiborne had a tweet after that interview saying that he had never voted before, but he's since registered. And I was just wondering, have you gotten feedback from people about that comment? Have you gotten feedback from fans who have said, you know what, I've never voted either, but I've signed up? Have you gotten feedback from players along those lines? And do you expect a lot of people to join you who are in your boat, people who haven't voted before, but people who are going to now?
I feel like not like trying to like pat myself on the back because, you know, when it comes to me, it could have been taken either way. I could have been said I was ignorant or any of these things, but to me, it felt brave to be able to admit to myself, the world, everybody that was my mentality. That was how I processed things or how I felt or what I had learned, you know, just that my vote wouldn't really matter. And whether it was lazy, whether it was an excuse for, you know, just for me not voting, I think coming out and saying that, I kind of like take on more heat than someone else, and it allows someone else to, you know, to who's in that same situation to understand, you know, it's okay, and you have an opportunity to correct your wrongs or your mistakes, and going into the future, your voice can actually now be heard, and there's no better time than the present for your voice to be heard. So my message is going to continue to be vote. I actually just texted my financial advisor yesterday to make sure that everything's in place to where it's all set up and there's not, you know, I'm not sitting here promoting and talking about all these things and then it gets down to it and I actually miss the opportunity to vote again. So I'm just taking all the proper steps and actions to make sure that I can. For me, I feel like early on in this, I didn't speak out as much because I didn't have as much information on it. So I don't want to just be speaking out and not be informed of what I'm speaking on. So I'm just trying to keep acquiring information, knowledge, and be able to find the best direction moving forward.
Your next one goes to Scott Petrick.
Hey, Odell, I wanted to ask you about a couple of the routes against the Bengals. Did you know that touchdown route was going to be a touchdown before the play?
Yeah. I mean, this is the play, the catch or whatever. And I just, sometimes when those plays are called, you just know, like, all right, here's your opportunity. And those moments are exciting. Like, it's gotten to the point where they're not so nerve-wracking, but they're just exciting. Like, here's your chance, here's your opportunity, and we hit it. Rolling out left, throwing it on the run, on the money. I mean, it couldn't have been a better time. And it was set up a lot by what Coach did early on in the game, just to be able to get in that situation. So it was definitely good to hit it. Like I said, we're just trying to find ways day by day to keep continuing to make progress.
And can you believe the official did not call PI on the one where he had your jersey?
You know, like I told him on the field, I was like, man, I've made mistakes in my career, but like, we got to move past that. Like, everything's just, I'm just here to play football too, you know? So I think younger me would have been, you know, more upset, and now just realizing it's like life, you know, you just kind of roll with the punches. Hey, you missed a call, whether it was or was not pass interference, it wasn't called, so I can't harp on it or anything like that. You just right now my mentality is to keep playing, know that those calls probably won't get called, and just to fight through that.
Mary Kay Cabot, you're up.
Hey, Odell, knowing how much you love to make those kinds of big plays, and I've asked this of Jarvis and Baker too, with the way that you guys are set up this season, and it's going to often, go through the run, and you guys are so strong there. How do you guys, as in speaking about like you and Jarvis and Austin Hooper, you guys are Pro Bowlers, you're used to having mega stats. With so many mouths to feed on the team, you guys might not be able to get those kind of numbers this year. Maybe you will. I hope for you guys that you all do. But how are you guys, kind of reconciling maybe not getting every opportunity you would love to have to help this team win games, and just kind of doing everything for the team?
I think for me, one of my biggest growths has come in acceptance, in a sense. And for me, knowing it's probably not going to be that kind of season. Like I always say, my goal is always going to be my goal. And I don't feel like I'm ever going to fall short of it. And I think, like I said, learning acceptance. So you set new goals, watching Jordan's documentary, having game within a game, working on a release during a run game, or working something else. A new goal, aside from winning, always, Nick Chubb needs to be the #1 rusher in the league. Like, it just, or Kareem too as well. You got two legitimate #1 backs in the backfield. And our team is very, very, very good at running the football. So you have to play to your strength. And then I think you learn where you fit in and where you're able to make your plays and how you can help the team. I tell Chubb every day, I owe you, I owe you, I owe you. I want that big block that springs him free, just to see him running down the field, even though he's not going to give me any love after. He's not going to have much emotion about it. But just to see him running free and down the sideline is going to be a great feeling. So I think a lot of my growth came in acceptance of life, acceptance of things, and just knowing that that's what it's going to be, and finding a way to create that block that springs them, or whatever it is to help us win.